This is the best upper body strength training, bar none, pun. And when we do this, bodies are left strewn all over the ground. Here's what it is. That's right, handstand walks. Now before you say, I can't do a handstand, I don't know how to do a handstand, I don't have enough room. Listen. After 32 years of training and coaching thousands of people, I've heard every excuse you could possibly imagine. And they all stem really from one source, some sort of limiting belief that you're holding on to. But handstands in all different directions, whether that be an L walk as a handstand, vertical handstand walks, or anything else, hand balancing, handstands are extremely advantageous for your entire body. And that's why it's so valuable, because your whole body is working together as a unit. Your whole body is building strength and the power to move in an inverted position with balance, control, mobility, strength, and ultimately sustainability in a connected way, like I mentioned. And so there's a couple of pieces that come together to build the ability and the strength to move as a unit, to move holistically with strength and power. And so we'll cover some of those, and then we'll also wrap it all together into a series of moves that we call a kata in the Powerbatics training. But the first thing is this. It's really simple. And matter of fact, all of our students that come in, they start training this way, okay? In one way, shape, or form, they're doing handstand, hand balancing training. So whether we're starting off just in a normal push-up position, all right, or we're doing touches like this, or we're learning how to begin to go inverted, like I'll show you in a second, there's levels to this. And what I see happening a lot of times is that people are getting stuck at these superficial levels because they're utilizing mainstream methods. And really it's, you know, it's mass marketing, and where the masses go, usually there's something that isn't quite right if all of the masses are doing it. But these are a couple of ways that we sort of start to scratch the surface of really building strong upper body strength. And this is going to involve all sorts of things: connective tissue development, shoulder mobility, range of motion, core strength, posterior chain strength through your back, everything that's stabilizing to hold you upright but in an inverted position. And some people, they palm the basketball. When you're doing handstands, you're palming the earth and you're holding your entire weight upside down. So the easiest way that we start getting into this, and like I said, people are, whenever they become students, they're already beginning hand balancing training, and then they're seeing massive progress as a result. And so the first thing is, when we start building a handstand, a lot of people think that they're just gonna fall. But we wanna train with the idea of always landing, always having control of our body. Easiest way is to put both hands down on the ground and then legs in this kind of position, and you're already going to feel some mobility and some strain and some things that are, oh man, I've got to fix this, I got to fix that. And that's another thing with this kind of training, is that weak links will become exposed. So this is a needle kick position, and then what we do is we take this up like this, but that bottom foot stays actually close to the ground, so that we have control and there's no falls. And think about this logically. Every time you do one of these, even if you're only lifting that high up off of the ground, you're holding your entire body weight with your upper body, okay? And then the longer or the higher you get with it, the more weight you're supporting. And so we'll train with those. And what I often say is, whenever we're getting into the handstand walk training, and we'll do it for, 90 feet is the length of the rod floor. So we'll do 90 feet. And then we'll go around the rest of the gym too. So I don't know, maybe 180 foot rounds. And here's the thing, is that we want to have a 3-step minimum. And so we kick up, 1, 2, 3, and set back down. Now listen, don't get upset or frustrated if you can't just hop up and start walking on your hands, because it doesn't work like that. But you should be working towards it, okay? And so the frustration and the negative thoughts that might hold you back from making progress, you got to let those go too. So let the limiting beliefs go, and then let the frustration go as well. And I will recommend this. I highly recommend training with people. And you'll see a link. We have a lot of students, kids, teens, adults, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 60 plus year olds doing handstands and doing this kind of training. And if you are a professional in a career that's working in a sedentary kind of way, or it's a high demanding career, we work with all kinds of folks to help you get past the struggles and the weak links and those pieces that are holding you back from really accelerating your training and going up to new levels of strength, skill, and sustainability. So you can fill out the application and schedule a time to talk with us. We can get to know each other. We can begin to unpack your goals and your roadblocks and how to make the best progress with you. But the next piece of this is being able to get into those shapes and positions with confidence. So we've done our plank, all right, or our push-up work. We've started to move a little bit, okay? We're starting to get into these positions where we're kicking up and that foot is low, and then eventually it's going up higher. And then we're starting to do our 3-step minimum, putting that same foot back down. Then we're gonna start thinking about the hands and the strategic ways of using the body so that we can really start maximizing the potential. And so the fingers, they become our brakes. And so as we're kicking up, this is called heel drive. Whenever we kick this foot up behind us like this is heel drive. So a little bit of heel drive, you don't go anywhere. And some people will go like this, and they'll put their feet like this. And that's okay. Again, every time, every attempt, you're gaining more strength, you're gaining more skill, you're gaining more understanding of your body and how it works. But a little bit of heel drive, a little bit of motion. A lot of heel drive, a lot of motion, okay? And whenever we're starting to take those steps, we kick up a foot, and then we lean them over our head to begin that walking. And the fingers clamp into the ground to keep us from pitching over. Now, something that might happen is you might go up and whoa, too far. And that's where you just want to have the cartwheeling and the awareness of your body in space, which again, through a lot of mainstream training methods, people are not building that level of coordination, that understanding of how to move through space. Those are things that sometimes, I won't say all, but sometimes kids learn at a young age, and they're just, as they play outside, they're picking up some of these skills. But I guarantee you not all kids are learning this. And then the majority of the population, probably about, and I've looked up the stats, 99% of people are not able to do these kind of movements. And it's because of the mainstream thinking, the mainstream fitness, the mainstream methods, as well as the sedentary nature of a lot of the work. And like I mentioned, the limiting beliefs and the negative thought patterns. So what we want to do is we want to break outside of that conditioning and really start climbing up the rungs of the ladder to higher levels of strength, skill, and sustainability. And this is one beautiful, simple way, and it really helps you build tremendous upper body strength. So another way of doing handstand walks is going, we're gonna go in all directions with this. And so we're up here like this in a handstand, and then walking backwards. And that could be the next level of challenge. And I won't do all of the angles, but when we talk about hand balancing, we're doing handstands at all angles, which is pretty cool. And again, it builds your entire body, from your feet all the way up through your hands, because everything has to function together. Okay, so then what we want to do is tie these together. So we've looked at plank, all right, we've looked at some movement, we've looked at walking on our hands 2 directions. And then this is a little piece from our training. We use these for level advancements. It's a very formal, objective way of identifying that people are ready to level up in their training. And we call these katas. And this is one basic kata from the handstand element of Powerbatics. And that's a few of the moves of it, and I'll let it go right there. But as you can see, what we're doing is we're starting to combine the handstand positions. And there's all these different positions for handstand, like I showed you, the L, the vertical, there's planching, there's straight arm and bent arm handstands from all those different angles. And then there's the ability to walk on our handstands. And then in a kata like that, in a series of connected movements, you are, to a certain extent, walking on your hands, although your feet are on the ground in some of those transitions at the basic level. At the more advanced level, what we do is we take the feet away, and you're basically hovering off the ground in a handstand position, but transitioning from position to position to position. And so the time under tension for your upper body while you're going through these different angles is the equivalent of holding your entire weight with your hands for that extended period of time. And so time under tension can be extremely high, and then you're building strength in such a way that your shoulders are almost becoming as strong as your hips, and your upper body is building massive strength in a way that mainstream methods just can't even come close. And then what that does is it sets you up for all sorts of other different activities that you can do with confidence and with strength. I'll see you in the next video and in training soon.